Highlands are thought to be one of the oldest cattle breeds in the world. Raised for centuries on the cold coasts and rugged highlands of Scotland, these animals are resilient and robust. Between their horns and distinctive long hair, nothing else looks like a Highland because nothing else is a Highland.
I get along with animals probably better than I do people. And I guess if I can get along with these Highland cattle, I guess that's enough.
Nearly 50 years ago, Ray Shatney's father thought the pedigree, uniqueness, and vigor of Highlands would be a good fit for his family's Rocky Hill farm in Greensboro Bend.
My dad, back in the late mid-60s, decided that he wanted something different besides just dairy cows, and he had a friend who had a Highland cow. He sort of inherited the Highland cow for $50, which was, I guess, was more than what she was worth back then, but he loved the Highlands and he built a Highland herd. This farm wouldn't be worth much for anything else. It's definitely not an area for dairy farming. These hillside farms in Vermont don't do well in dairying, and it's great for the Highlands. There's wooded and there's a lot of stone here. I think my dad purchased these places so we'd have something to do Sunday afternoon, was picking stone. And we still haven't got them all picked. A new shipment comes in every year.
Along with being hardy, Highlands are also gentle and known as easy keepers. To show how laid back his Highlands are, Shatney likes to hone his hairstyling techniques. And the cows like it too. As for those horns, well, Shatney makes sure to keep his distance when Mom is around.
The only time we have to worry that I worry about the horns, and I have the same problem with an animal without horns. They're good mothers, and they will protect the newborn calf. So we're real careful around the newborns. You'll see the calves out behind me here. Almost every one has a tag in it. The young ones that don't have a tag, Mom said I couldn't give it a tag.
Between this farm in Greensboro Bend and another in Plainfield, the entire herd numbers 170. About 2/3 are purebred Highlands, and the rest are Highland crosses. For Shatney and his wife, Janet Steward, it's the right size herd and the perfect fit for their family.
One of the things we're trying to do is produce a model that other farmers and other people who want to farm can do. They are not a commercial breed. They are very slow growing. It is very hard to make them economically viable, which is why very few people raise them, and which is why most people who have Highland cattle stay with the breed 5 years. And so what we want to do is show people how you can be successful, because we want the Highland breed to continue.
Because Highlands don't grow as fast as more commercial breeds like Angus or Hereford, Shatney crossbreeds his Highlands with Shorthorns. This keeps the farm financially viable by being able to have more meat ready for market more often, while also maintaining the Highland genetics.
The Highland cattle in Scotland would probably be just about extinct today if it wasn't for crossbreeding. So they discovered many years ago that the Highland cattle will not survive just being Highland cattle.
The Highlands' history classifies them as a heritage breed. These breeds are popular with small-scale farmers who want to raise their own meat or develop a value-added product.
Heritage is a lifestyle preservation.
Joe Emenheiser is University of Vermont Extension's livestock specialist.
One of the most important or valuable tools in production agriculture and viability from an animal genetics or breeding standpoint is crossbreeding. And the power that's gained from crossing two breeds together is really huge. And the trick is that crossbreeding requires that the breeds be preserved and be able to be put together. And getting crossbred calves that grow considerably more efficiently, have higher meat yield, and so on and so forth, but they're still doing everything that they want to preserve the Highland breed and to enjoy them for the reasons that they have them.
As majestic as these animals are, with their long hair and long horns, Their place on this farm has one purpose. Shatney sends at least one animal a week off for processing. Because the Highlands are pasture-raised and slow to grow, their meat is tender with low levels of cholesterol and high in omega-3 fatty acids. Their hair acts as insulation, so Highlands store fat in the meat, and fat is where the flavor is at.
A lot of the key to our being able to get people familiar with the Highland beef is you get it in their mouth. And once it's in their mouth, that's what they want. Because as people tell us, they've never tasted anything like it. If you look, anything fresh is $1 off per pound. I have one fresh.
Steward believes this one-on-one, tasting is believing marketing approach gives their business a unique niche in the marketplace.
I've been to a lot of conferences where people say we've got to get into the Boston markets, we've got to get into the New York markets. That's not our goal. We want to produce healthy food for Vermonters. And we want to produce it in a way that they can come see where their food is raised, that they can come be with the animals, they can understand that this is how cattle are supposed to be raised. And right now, I don't want to have a lot of new markets. So you might say to me, how come you're not doing much more at promoting your beef? I can't raise any more beef than we're selling.
This farm and these animals have a strong pull on this family. Shatney's grandson, Philip, has started to help out. He's the next generation to develop a love for these animals and this lifestyle, something Ray understands well.
What have I learned in 50 years dealing with Highlands? Probably learned some stuff about myself. That they like being out here, and I sort of like being out here too. And no matter what else happens, when I was working, you could always come back to the farm, and whether you just sat and watched them, they're awful good therapy. They feed you more ways than one.
Highland cattle, good for the body, better for the soul. In the Highlands of Greensboro Bend, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.